Now on a special edition of KGW News, the ongoing search for answers 1 year after a Kelso woman's disappearance. We hear from her family.
All we know is that 2 went in and 1 came out.
Plus how shoppers in Vancouver are navigating Main Street for Small Business Saturday, despite some heavy construction.
Since 9:30 this morning, which is before my open hours, I've been busy.
And it's the kickoff weekend of several holiday events, including at Portland's famous outdoor sanctuary. We're going to start off tonight with weather. After seeing a very wet start to the holiday weekend, it was nice to see those sunny skies across our area today. Thanks so much for joining us on this special edition of KGW News. I'm John Adams. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri has more on what the last day of November is going to look like. Joe, hard to believe the last day of November already.
We're just a couple of days away to start December 1st. If you want to get really dig behind the science, it's going to be the first day of the meteorological winter. I just realized that. Yeah, December 1st. Well, as we look at downtown Portland right now, Pioneer Park building camera, temperatures are in the mid-40s. A lot of people enjoying the festivities of the holiday season right now. The Christmas tree was all lit up yesterday in downtown Portland. Now we're looking at some cold temperatures overnight. I'm still not convinced we're going to be seeing the coldest temperatures we've seen so far this fall, but a few locations it'll be pretty cold, pretty close. Areas of frost and fog too, but looking at next for tomorrow, lots of sunshine for Sunday. In fact, from beginning to end, we're going to be seeing pretty much clear skies. What's new for December is we're going to start things off, at least for the first couple of days, maybe the first 2 days of December, with dry conditions. I think our next chance of seeing rain will be arriving on Tuesday. Even with that system, John, it's going to be relatively light in terms of rainfall amounts. Tomorrow, we'll be seeing morning fog with areas of frost. Again, lots of blue skies. Temperatures are going to be in the upper 40s. And despite all that rain that we saw, earlier in the holiday weekend, we're going to be looking at a deficit for the month of November. I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes.
All right, Joe, thank you. This week marked 1 year since a Longview mother disappeared without a trace. Today, family members of Haley Athey organized a renewed search effort. The Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office tells us they've conducted multiple interviews and searches, but are still looking for answers. On this somber anniversary, loved ones are vowing to keep searching for her and hoping for some comfort in closure. Alma McCarty has their story.
It's been a nightmare.
That feeling for 365 days.
So just have answers would just give us some peace to feel like we can move on, we can move forward.
Something Nicole Brooks says she hasn't been able to do since her daughter Haley Athey went missing last Thanksgiving.
She was always a little bit of a wild child. She just had a spirit that couldn't be tamed. You know, if you talk to anyone who knew Haley, Haley was a loving, fun, fiercely loyal friend.
As a friend and a mother, it wasn't like her not to check in, despite her struggles with mental health and addiction.
Haley never would have walked away from her children.
Which is why, after weeks with no contact, her family and friends filed a missing persons report with the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office. Her family tells us that Haley was last seen in the Rose Valley area, and this is the spot that folks will meet up on Saturday morning to then go out and look for her. From here, the search party will head up into the hills.
You know, we've been pleading so much for people to come forward because in this area, if you look, at the horizon, all you see are hills. And the area is so vast that there's just no way to pinpoint specific areas, and that's what's been so difficult.
Both Nicole and Haley's stepdad, Jim, say they fear she might not be alive, but they will not stop trying to find her.
We don't know that she's gone, but we don't know where she is, and that's why our motto has been to bring Haley home. Regardless of the circumstances, she has 3 beautiful daughters that deserve to have their mother home.
In Cowlitz County, Alma McCarty, KGW News.
A Beaverton community is rallying to support a longtime resident who was recently detained and deported to Mexico. We're told Paulino Martin is an undocumented father of 3 who's lived in Oregon for more than 30 years, working in construction as a licensed handyman. His family says last week ICE agents stopped and detained Martin. Within 3 days, he was moved from Tacoma to Arizona and then deported to Mexico.
I mean, this was my worst nightmare growing up. Like, I've known about this since I've been 5, 6 years old, and it happened to me now. And I can only imagine if it happened to me when I was in high school. And that is happening for a lot of kids right now. There's a lot of families being broken, generational trauma that we're trying to negate.
The Department of Homeland Security has not yet responded to our requests about Martin's case. His family says they hope to find a way to bring him home while supporting others with similar cases. New tonight, a local movie theater was evacuated earlier today due to a gas leak. Portland Fire and Rescue says it happened inside the Hollywood Theater around 2 this afternoon. An issue with one of the building's furnaces let gas flow into the building. The situation was resolved with the help of Northwest Natural about 30 minutes later. The theater said screenings continued as normal today. Today is Small Business Saturday. In Vancouver, people were out and about getting their holiday shopping done, and the city is lifting some roadblocks to try and make all of that a little bit easier. Construction has been underway to improve Main Street since January of this year, but it's on pause for now. Jake Holter brings us the story from downtown Vancouver.
Small businesses we spoke to say that the construction on Main Street has hurt their business this past year, but they say they are thankful for the support they've gotten from the community this Small Business Saturday.
The holiday season can either make or break your year.
It's been wonderful, and people are excited to come down here.
Molly McKenzie owns McKenzie's Treasures, an antique jewelry shop downtown. She says this Small Business Saturday she had customers right when she opened, which was a welcome change after she says business has been slow this past year due to the Main Street construction.
It has affected our business a lot with people not being able to get through all the streets and finding places to park and such. And any time there's any traffic or any street closed off, it's not very inviting to people.
The city halted Main Street construction on Thanksgiving, and it will remain paused until New Year's Day.
Their ability to open it up for us and making it more walking friendly and car friendly through this holiday season is really important and a blessing in my opinion.
McKenzie says she's thrilled because the holiday season is when she and a lot of small businesses make their money.
There might be 2 months that I am not making the same amount as my winter months, and I have to then compensate it or dip into the business savings to pay for our retail spaces and everything like that.
Just down the road, Wild Fern Boutique owner Deanna Gaines says while the pause is helpful, this year will track behind years past.
Our holiday is just going to be scrunched into like a few weeks rather than a month and a half, the month and a half rush that we usually see.
Downtown Vancouver resident Laura Webster made it a point to shop around at small businesses Saturday to show her support for the community.
You know, the restaurants can't survive if there's not people down here doing anything, and so it just makes it much more lively and welcoming to even be in the area than if you're going to drive to Target and do everything there.
Jake Holter, KGW News.
From surging import costs to the shortage of affordable loans, small business owners in Washington are facing mounting pressure. Yvonne Rodriguez explains they're hunkering down while trying to remain optimistic.
Doug Scheffel's experience as a small business owner is similar to many others across the country this year.
In a small business world, everything is cash. It's everything you worry about. And I just see all the costs rising.
Scheffel is the co-owner of family-run ETM Manufacturing in Massachusetts. Back in April, he says he laid off about a quarter of his employees as the Trump administration's tariff rollout dented demand for the machine parts and sheet metal his company sells.
It just has become almost impossible to plan and be thoughtful about our workforce, be thoughtful about the how we pay those people, how we employ them.
Beyond the economic uncertainty small businesses are facing, Aaron Terrazas, an economist for Point, says another challenge is accessing financing.
Credit conditions, bank lending conditions for small businesses have tightened now for 13 consecutive quarters. I think that's probably going to continue.
The average rate on a new urban small business term loan was over 7% at the end of last year, according to the Kansas City Fed. But many small businesses face rates well north of 10%. All of that adds stress on businesses and its people.
If you're spending all your time worrying about how to get your payables in line, your cash in line, and you're taking out really expensive debt to cover those gaps, it's hard to think about growth because you just can't afford it.
Airports in Chicago have seen cancellations and delays as a major winter storm pummels the area. More than 1,300 flights were canceled at both O'Hare and Midway International airports due to the weather. So far, 2 flights from PDX to Chicago have been canceled, as well as 3 arriving flights. Focusing on PDX, the Port of Portland expects about 367,000 people to pass through the airport through the Thanksgiving holiday. That's an increase from last year's 350,000 travelers. The peak travel days are expected to be tomorrow and Monday. Check this out. Portland's famous outdoor sanctuary has lit up for the holidays. This is the opening weekend of the Festival of Lights at the Grotto. The Catholic sanctuary grounds are now adorned with millions of lights in various displays. There will also be a chapel choir performances, caroling, snacks and drinks for sale, and a puppet show for the kids.
But this is my first time coming here, and just it's beautiful, beautiful, perfect time, and no rain, so it's the best time to get out and enjoy it.
Bring your walking shoes. It's definitely a blessing.
The festival runs every night from 5 to 9:30 through December the 30th, with the exception of Christmas Day. You're also asked to bring a non-perishable food donation to support Snowcap, a local nonprofit providing food, clothing, and utility assistance.